finishing off in the AFC, let's move to the West. Again, I think this is pretty easy. Kansas City wins the division. I'm seeing a lot of people saying 20-0. I don't see anybody going 20-0, in the near future. There's going to be some games here and there where they slip up. It's 17 games. It's a long season. But Kansas City wins going away 14-3. Defense is better than people give it credit for. Chris Jones will be back at some point this season, and obviously the greatness of Mahomes and Reed and Kelsey for that matter. That we know who they are and what they represent. I got the Chargers at 9-8. Listen, you and I, Ryan, have been Chargers skeptics for a very long time, and again, that's the team. I've been a Justin Herbert guy since day one. Since when he came to the league, I loved this kid in terms of a talent and leadership perspective, and I thought they had a decent draft. Yeah. The Austin Eckler thing concerns me in terms of is that going to be something, an issue in the locker room, an issue with the organization, and the fact that they, with Sean Payton on the market, they decided to say, you know what, we actually think that Brandon Staley has a better chance of getting us to the promised land than Sean Payton does. And to top it off, Ryan Flowers, you and I are just as familiar with this as anybody. They decided to go with Kellen Moore as our offensive coordinator, which is, I think, going to make it even worse. So the Chargers fans, get ready for some curl routes, okay? Get ready for curl routes in 2023. It's not going to be a fun ride for you. Denver at 8-9. I thought about giving all offseason. I'm like, okay, they had Sean Payton. Offensive lines could be better. The Broncos could be a 10-win team. There's no way Russell will be as bad this year as he was last year. I still believe that to be the case, and they'll be in the playoff hunt. But the loss of Tim Patrick and then Jerry Jeudy being injured early in training camp, I think that's just going to be too much of
Sutton. He's out too.
Cortland Sutton's dealing with injuries as well. The defense, obviously, they traded Bradley Chubb at the end of last season. I think Denver is going to be competitive, certainly better than they were a year ago. But again, the AFC's just so good. I can't see them getting the playoffs. Man. And then the Raiders at 5-12. I don't like their head coach. Their quarterback's limited and can't stay healthy. Their offensive weapons are really good, but their defense, we know in the Derek Carr era, were never higher than 20th in 9 years. So I have no reason to believe that they'll be any better, even though they decided to address defense in the draft. So Ryan, your thoughts on the AFC West going into this season?
1 and 2, I think those are locks right there. Yeah. 3 and 4, honestly, it's a coin flip.
Wow,
it's going to be a lot for Denver to overcome those wide receiver injuries. I mean, literally your top 3 targets are out for Russell Wilson. And this is a big year for Russell Wilson. And he's been in the league a while. I didn't realize he's been in the league like 12 years almost, or if not
year 12, yep.
Right. So I felt like I just seen him win the Super Bowl not that long ago against the Broncos, which is ironic. But the Raiders, I live here in Vegas, so I listen to their radio shows a lot, and I try to stay plugged in a little bit with them. I don't like them, but I just get caught up in the wash. Their offense is going to be good, I think, still, but I don't know, man. Their defense is so trash.
It's bad.
It's bad. I mean, the way they give up so many yards, big plays down the field. Josh Jacobs. I'm really debating. I don't want to be boring and say, yeah, I agree with you, but like, I'll switch it up. I'll put the Raiders at 3, and I think the Broncos might fall short. They just won't have enough offense, I think, at the end of the day to stay in games, and their defense is gonna. And matter of fact, fun fact about them: their defense was on the field more, if not, than any other team in the National Football League last season. So. Yeah. I think that might be the case. Now, I know they did bolster the offensive line. They added Mike McGlinchey, and they got another guy, I believe, from the Ravens to help shore up that offensive line. But who's he throwing to? I really don't. Sure. They did draft the kid out of, I forgot where he was from, but he's played a lot this offseason, or excuse me, in the preseason. But you're asking a rookie wide receiver to go out there and kind of carry the load while 3 other guys are, nursing injuries. So I'm going to go Chiefs 1, Chargers 2. We know those are locks. Raiders 3, and Broncos country. Sorry, you guys are not going to ride this year. So I got them finishing at 4.
No, I can finally get the monkey off my back from last year, picking the Broncos to win the Super Bowl. I'll never live that one down. But this
he fooled all of us, man. I mean, literally, we thought they were going to come in and be gangbusters, and literally that first game against Seattle was like, yeah, this coach can't coach, and they can't play. I mean, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody challenges Kansas City for that division, certainly in the time being. So let's get to some comments before we move to the NFC, because we got quite a few thoughts in the AFC West. So yeah, we kind of answered Parnell's question. Will Russ bounce back? I don't know if he'll necessarily bounce back. I think he'll be better than he was a year ago, because he was maybe the worst quarterback in football last year. And by the way, he had some, after cautious optimism for the Broncos would say, hey, after they fired Hackett, Russ had some decent moments here and there. He wasn't as bad as he was at the start of the season. So, listen, I don't think he'll be garbage, but I don't think he'll be good enough to
He won't
get
be
in
the
the
same
playoffs.
guy he once was before. And let's be real, like when he was really successful in Seattle, they ran the ball well behind
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch. They had play action. You can't let him cook. He's not a chef. He's a line cook. He's got to just get the buns out of the warmer, get the meat out of the little tray like it's Burger King, and put it through. Like he's not a gourmet chef anymore. If he ever really was one, but so they got to run the football and see what happens after that. But I just don't think he's good enough anymore to will a team, in my opinion. And I like him, but it's just a fact.
Absolutely. And Darian says 5-12 for my Raiders. Big Raiders fan here. He says we are better than the Broncos. Listen, I don't even necessarily just discount that because was it 5 or 6 games last year they had double-digit leads and lost? I remember there was a game against the Cardinals.
They should have won a lot of games.
The Jags, the Chiefs, they had a double-digit lead.
The Cardinals. Remember that Cardinals game? The
one? Yeah. Like that was that situational coaching for them was awful. I mean, I remember
terrible.
The peak of their season for me was when they gave up a 90-something yard drive to Baker Mayfield, who had been ran for all of 48 hours. Like that was when I was like, okay, this is never going to work with Josh McDaniels. And I do think Parnell. Yes, I think McDaniels will be fired by the end of the season, and the Raiders will go in a different direction. Darian says at least put us at 3. So yeah,
I did, Darian. I got you.
Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.